This video is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com, where you can find cool stuff in stock.
Hello, and welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB. I got a spicy one here for you today on streak day number 832 in a row. And the headband is back. People are like, what does it mean? Does it mean he's doing a different character? Does it mean some kind of Asian influence? It means my hair gets too heavy for all the gel I try to put in it to make it stand up. And when that happens, and I don't want the hair to get too crusty and nasty, I just wear a headband. Keeps it out of my eyes. Deep thoughts. Anyway, Magic the Gathering. We've got a fun one for you today. This one is, I'm calling it Overload Combo, and it is a pretty cool deck that focuses on synergies between Dual Strike, which is an instant that copies the next instant or sorcery spell with mana value 4 or less that you play this turn, and Experimental Overload, which creates an XX blue and red weird creature token where X is the number of sorcery or instant cards in the graveyard. Then you may return an instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand, exile Experimental Overload. So with Dual Strike, you can do multiple overloads, getting back multiple spells, filling your graveyard, removing more things, keeping the opponent from winning the game. But eventually you have such a huge graveyard full of all these instants and sorceries that you get to cast Dual Strike and then also cast Kazul's Fury, which is going to sacrifice a 10/10 or greater Experimental Overload weird creature token and deal 10 to the opponent's face, and then Dual Strike will copy that Fury to make it 20. So if they let a token stick around for even a turn, the game is over. But on the other hand, if you have 8 mana, you can do all this in one turn. You can cast the Overload, make the creature, cast the Dual Strike from the Foretell Zone for just 1 red, and cast the Kazul's Fury, flinging the weird creature token, doubling it, and just go straight to the dome. It's a pretty cool list. I originally sniped the deck list from Kanye Best MTG on Twitter. Kanye used to be a watcher of the show. I don't know if he still does, but as definitely an honorary dojo place. He used to hang out in my Twitch all the time. So shout out if you're watching out there, Kanye. But posted these 4 decks that he primarily used to get to Mythic, and yes, he plays mono red. Maybe that's why he doesn't watch. But at least I'd like to say I taught him, maybe I gave him a little influence for such a sweet brew as this. I changed multiple things. The deck, in my opinion, had too many tap lands, so we go with 1 Spikefield Hazard, but not 4, and I went with more shocks because the best of 1 meta is more aggressive. I cut the negates, I added 1 Test of Talents, and the idea being that in the matchups where we need it, we dig for it. But here's the thing. The Emergent Ultimatum is usually the matchup where you think, I've got to have this Test of Talent, I've got to have negate, I've got to counter the Ultimatum. This deck can beat a Resolved Ultimatum. 100%. They resolve their ultimatum, they put some planeswalkers on the battlefield, you put away their extra turn card and all runs Epiphany. When you untap, you can cast the Experimental Overload and Kazul's Fury them and they die. Like, that is a totally doable thing. And that was the thing that impressed me the most about the deck. All the other cards are Stay Alive. Blitz of the Thunderraptor, remember, can target planeswalkers. It can also kill the Vorinclex if they go fetch that. But it can knock off the planeswalkers or the Vorinclex to give you more time to set up your combo if you need it. Cathartic Reunion does dig you deeper and deeper into the deck while filling your graveyard. Expressive Iteration is some of the gas that really makes the deck run, letting you find all the right cards and hit all your land drops, even on a pretty low overall amount of land, if you're treating these as spells. So Expressive Iteration is very much a glue card that holds the deck together, and very often you will use Dual Strike to copy things like Cathartic Reunion or Expressive Iteration and just keep the deck going deeper and deeper until you can set up your combo. I'm probably, when I play this deck, too shy with the Dual Strikes. I should probably be playing them more aggressively, knowing I can get them back later with Experimental Overload. I was very conservative. Spoiler alert, I've already recorded the games. I know what happens. I'm from the future. Then we have 4 copies of Seize the Spoils, which is very much like Cathartic Reunion. You might wonder why not Thrilling Possibility. Seize the Spoils making a treasure is actually a very big deal because it's the only source of ramp in the deck, and you do want to get to 8 mana where you can cast the Overload, cast the Dual Strike, and cast the Fury all in one turn. So that's why it is the way it is. We get Zerda the Dawnwaker as a companion because we have no permanents. Yes, you heard that right. We have no permanents. So we can run something that says each permanent has to have an activate ability basically for free. And it's mostly a meme, but don't worry about it. Nobody knows what Zerta does. It does make a creature unable to block, which can get your massive weird thing to attack. Today's video is dedicated to Drunken Master. Thank you for joining the Cool Kids Club by hitting the join button below, supporting the channel. You get early access to my deck lists, and you get ad-free stream VODs posted on YouTube, which means that you can watch on 2x speed with all the YouTube features that you love and keep up with what happened on the Twitch streams. So thank you very much. And Drunken Master, this sweet cosmetic cannot be purchased. It's a season reward. Man, they really figured out how to make some good cards into season rewards. Seize the Spoils, easy. Seize the Spoils is a good one. This Seize the Spoils is dedicated to you. Let's dive in. Let the nonsense begin. All right, off to the races. We've got some red sources, a bad Frostbite, but expressive iterations in Blitz. So I'm gonna try this hand. We shouldn't have to miss many land drops because of iteration, and Frostbite might keep an angry mono red gamer at bay. All right, we got a Snarl, cool. We'll reveal this, and we will Frostbite your Robber of the Rich, because this is mono red. They play mono red, Fervent Champion. Oh, that works. Let's see, do you have another? Do you have 3 Fervent Champions? Okay, a Hall Monitor, get wrecked. We don't want to miss out on a removal spell. God, we're drawing way too many Furies. I think that, but we also need to be able to blitz their Annex. So I think I do iteration here and try to hit a 1-drop or a land. Oh, we hit the shock, but we can't cast it. Bummer. All right, so we put the shock into our hand. We put the Test of Talents into the deck. We put the Opt on the stack. We play the island. And we find a mountain. God, if that had been 1 card sooner, but do we keep a mountain? I don't think so. I think we have to do better. These Kazul's Furies are basically mountains. There's the dual strike. Not exactly what I'm looking for, but I guess we could foretell it next turn and shock a creature, or blitz the Annex, which they invariably have because they have perfect, flawless curves every time. All right, so with the land, actually, we can just do this and clean up this board a little bit. It's an instant? Okay, so we can let the opponent decide what they're doing next turn or get some more information if they play like a Robber of the Rich. Yes. All right, we have to figure out how to stack this. So how do we stack this? We cast the dual strike, we cast the blitz, and the target should be the robber, and then the copy is going to target the Annex so that they don't get the token. Oh, I think it exiles either way, but still good to know. All right, just 1/1s, please. Thank you. Thank you, red. Screw your great draws. All right, Seize the Spoils, I guess, is what we're casting. It's an unfortunate reveal here, but it'll have to do. We don't get a choice. It's a lot of mana. Let's drop off this Snarl, because we've got way too much. Okay, there's a Blitz, and we've got a Shock. Torbrand, cool. Think about how many things we've killed, and Mono Red is still just having no problem attacking us, and they have Faceless Haven waiting in the wings. Opt off the top. Dual Strike would be nice. I guess I'll take this. 3 fresh cards when we're struggling is also not a bad idea. There is the experimental overload. Let's Thunder Raptor. If they have 2 Torbrands, the Thunder Raptor now is a mistake. We could also wait till they get into combat and go for an Ember Cleave. If they have Bone Crusher Giant in hand, you want to play it now. Do we have any sign? I mean, they've just tapped out and played threats every turn, so we have no idea. We have no idea what's right. Do we play around the Torbrand or the Bone Crusher? In theory, they have more Bone Crushers in their deck. If they play second Torbrand, I guess we're okay with that. We just take 3. We take 4 if they have a Bone Crusher. Okay, well, they're turning to the Faceless Haven beatdown strategy. Down to 5. Now remember, they can make us unable to block with the overload. Well, they can make the weird unable to block with the hall monitor, so we have to kill that too. So I think we play this safe. What do we get? What do we get? I guess the Fury for the quickest possible clock. If they take 1 hit from this, they die. They know it. And then we do this. And see if they can figure out how to kill the 12-12 or kill us. Well, Mono Red, what's it gonna be? Pass turn. All right, so we need an instant to kill the Haven. Let's see if we can find one. This gets us the deepest for the least amount of mana. Blitz into hand. Nice. Here's the land. So we actually have the right mana to do this as well. Attack of the 12-12. Takes the damage. Are they planning to kill me with it on the stack? Do they have like bolt, bolt, bolt? Doubt it. Let's just do it. I mean, they can see it coming, right? They didn't even try to block. Well. Mono red. Got him. Lit him up. If we play all mono red with all my frost bites and the closing speed of my experimentations, then I'd be into that. I'd be into that. More mono red, please. Well, opponent responded with Yori and the Sky Nomad, which is probably going to be much tougher. We have 1 talent of the telepaths to try to keep them from just ultimatuming us into oblivion. We also might just be able to combo them if they tap out. So that's what we're going to hope for. This hand is a lot of... We get to see a lot of cards. I don't know if it's going to do much. But yeah, we just try to set up a combo so that... And hope they don't ramp too hard. Okay, that's a good draw. Let's foretell the dual strike. It's a great start. Now that's ready to go. Shock. Let's cast the iteration, I think. No, we can just discard the shock and play the seize. I think that's better. Opponent shows a Bright Climb Pathway, which implies they might be Doom Foretold. There's the Fury. Does anything change with Doom Foretold? Depends how many counters they run. But yeah, as far as I can tell, our plan is to fill our graveyard and try to set up the one-shot kill with Fury and Dual Strike. Egg, Omen, land, yeah. Good old Doom. They're probably well stacked against creatures. It's important to remember this can gain life. All right, so we could play an Overload and keep the spoils going. I think we want to hit our land more than anything else. Let's play the iteration. All right, we draw a Fury and a Snarl. Fury to hand. Shock to the bottom. Doesn't really do much. Snarl is our play for turn. Do I want to Reunion now or save the mana? I think that next turn we're going to Reunion anyway, so I'm just going to save this. We could double Experiment next turn, but we can't expect the creatures to live. We really want to one-shot combo this, which means we need a huge Experiment and double Fury. Okay. What a hater. No treasure for me. Didn't expect that. So how much mana is that? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is what we have to be trying to make. 8's a lot. Tis not a small number. We need to play a land this turn anyway. They'll see the Fury, which might be bad. You know, maybe what we're supposed to do is just discard the Overload and then get the Overload with the Overload next turn to keep them busy. We only need 1 Fury, though. But they're land drops as well, so... all right. So this is 5 mana. Next turn is 6. This is 7 if they don't kill it. Raven's Warning. All right. Do I have to bring back a shock? Like, what are we doing here? Expressive Iteration. So I know I want to seize, but let's iterate too. Try to kill this birds so that they don't get the card. I guess we'll go hand, bottom, exile, reveal. Now what? Seize. Double dual strike's interesting, but unnecessary. But if we show them the dual strike, I think it gets uglier. Show them the Fury? Feels weird. Alright, still no way revealed to kill this little birdie. I guess I don't absolutely need it. Let's keep filling the graveyard. We have to expect that they'll just blow up that treasure again since they did it last time. Means they probably have more cards burning a hole in their pocket. We do want spells down there, don't we? Yes, we do. Oh, well, we found the Frostbite, but we can't play it, and we have too many land. Fun. All right. So, if they have a way to draw this, the card that they put on top next turn, like an Omen, they'll definitely get like a counter spell. Which makes doing all this harder and harder. They get to see our hand. I don't know if it means they know what we're doing. They buy the Yorion. I mean, they have a mana-intensive deck. We can't kill them this turn. Right? 22 is a lot. We also suddenly drew a ton of land. There's the Test of Talents. We want that in our hand. And I guess we will put you on the bottom and put the Opt into exile. Cast the Opt. Expressive Iteration. Gets deeper and deeper and deeper, doesn't it? Okay. We already have land for turn, so the iteration might not go well, but we might also just be able to get more cards. The opponent can't tap out next turn or they're just going to die. All right. So I guess we're casting this, which means this goes to hand. This goes to bottom. This goes to here. Zap. And we'll see what the opponent does next turn. They get to tutor up a card. We still have 25 cards in deck. This is on 18. A good thing with the Fury would be, like, if it could be lethal on its own, then they'd have to counter 2 of them. But that also doesn't play around life gain. All right, here's Yorion. They get to draw. It'll definitely be some kind of a counter spell. I'm sure that they're afraid of what we can do, but we still don't have to be in a hurry. We can still keep building up resources. There's a reunion. Okay, we can go for one of the experiments. And if the opponent tries to counter it, we can test of talents and get an idea of what their hand is. This is 20 on its own, which means next turn we can go for another one with Shock and Fury. We could also dual strike this one right now, but... or we could have before, but I think I'd rather test of talents. Okay. Ain't that something? So what's down here? Let's get back another overload. And we have a 20/20. How you doing? They know about the Fury. We still need another land to actually go off next turn, right? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, they're going for eliminate. We could try to talents that, but if they just have another, we lose. So I think we let that go. Here comes Yorion. What else are you going to do? I will opt. Seize the spoils. Shock the face. All right, so next turn we can go off with the test backup. This turn we cannot, but we can cast Fury and just have Test of Talents to back it without casting Dual Strike. With this mana open, I think we need the Dual Strike because they have too much life. Like, they can just gain 3 here. Let's go for... so let's do the more intensive play. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Let's cast a Dual Strike. Let's cast the Overload. Let's get back the Dual Strike. Let's get back... we could just shock their face again. We can do better than that, though. We don't need more card draw. Let's get... oh, we can just get all the Dual Strikes. Let's get another Fury, though. All right, so they goof up, tap too low, they die. I'm into it. Cling to Dust. Weird timing, but okay. Extinction Event. I will cast Test of Talents. They might counter this, but then we just kill them. Actually, this is fun. This is fun. Dual Strike. Test of Talents, target extinction event, and copy it, target extinction event. They have to copy both tests. And if they don't have extinction events, how are they going to clear these two creatures? Heartless Act, sure. But then if they tap out, they just die. Because they know about the other Dual Strike and the Fury, right? Alright, 2 Saw It Comings in hand. No mana to use them. Oh, so sad. Oh, so many counter spells, so little mana. $20 life. Not enough. Dual Strike. Kazul's Fury hit him for 40 something. GG's. Top 300 combo gamer. Do we like blue mana in our hands against Yorion? Probably. But we'll draw it. We'll draw a land at least. Seas can fix it. Boom. Easy. 0 deaths. No problem. Look at him go. Just getting those colors together. What a gamer. All right. Fury. We do in theory need them, but I want other card draw spells more. We only really need one. And we'll find it. It's what our deck does. Yeah, our opponent's off to the ramping world. We either need to be able to set up to kill them, which we're pretty far from, or we need to be able to find the Test of Talents. Not a lot of card draw going on. Hand became land heavy very quickly. Opponent's having no problems. Expressive Iteration. See if we can find Test of Talents here. We could Dual Strike it. Is that a terrible idea? And still have mana open? We're probably going... If we do that, we're probably going to miss on something. Plus we have to play the land to do it. No, it's a no-go. It's a no-go. I guess we want Blitz in the hand. Frost on the bottom. Land in the exile. Drop the land. Say go. We need to bluff counter magic. They just can slam the ultimatum here. Eureka moment. So we sit here for a second and act like, I wonder. I wonder if that's worth a counter spell. No? Nah, probably not. To the bottom. Omen. One to the top. Must be good. Exile you. Another Fury, but a long way from doing combo things so far. Trying to decide if I want to foretell this Dual Strike. We're probably going to Dual Strike and opt here. And we only need 2 mana to do talent, so I guess we'll cast this and cast this. There's only 1 in the deck, but we've got to hit it. And more open mana is more intimidating to most opponents. Buys Yorion, plays Binding. Why do they keep binding my treasures? Alright. Blue. Let's cast Dual Strike. And I'm just gonna double Dual Strike here. No to the shock. There's an overload, so that's a good start. Another overload? I guess so. But it's not talents. Another blitz is not what we're looking for. There's a reunion. I think we just have to tap out here. Threaten to go off next turn? No, we're a mana short. We can't go off next turn. But I guess we make an 8/8 and see what they do. We could do this first if we're not going off next turn. We could also dig deeper and hold up 2 mana and try to find the talents. Keep up the very conspicuous looking negate mana. But we are trying to get to a point where we just win by Kazul's Furying. Okay. Not an ultimatum. You'll love to see it. All right, we'll grab the dual strike, but we have the Fury. I guess we want a second Fury. No, we can just get a Fury with the other overload. But what if they counter? No, none of that works. Let's just grab the dual strike. And say go. Let's see what the opponent does now. As long as we deny them extra turns and they don't run a lot of counter spells. Should be okay. They're probably going to crack off ultimatum. Yep, that's fine. Does not beat me, I don't think. We have Blitz, which can hit a Planeswalker, depending how they stack things. So we just say you don't get Epiphany. The real question will be, do they also have like some kind of a negate, right? All right, so Professor Onyx comes in. So they're going to minus this, exile this. If they do that, let's see, we can start with 13 to face. The next turn we just do it again. But if they have a counter spell, we can't win. And they have Planeswalkers. But I guess we can still blitz. All right. But they do have to do something about the creature. And there's Heartless Act. And here is Fury to the face for 13. And they don't have a counter spell. So cool. Go ahead, Professor. Find something nice. I guess Mystical Dispute could still be a problem. Shock my face. Okay. You got me. Fury. Now they can't dispute it, and they tapped out anyway, so bang. Ultimatum defeated. Defeated! You love to see it. 236 with this nonsense. What goes up must come down. We've had it, you know, we've gone after Ultimatum and Doom and Mono Red. Let's see if this 99%er has what it takes to stop the rampaging fury of Experimental Overload combo. Without a companion, I'm going to save the hazard because we might get to pick off an Edgewall Innkeeper, a Sentinel. Okay. Well, die. With 2 iterations, I think I can play this land and not play the tap land, because we'll probably hit a land with the iteration next turn. Beastie. Test of Talents, huh? Alright, let's see if we can find a red source. Opponent with something holding priority for 1 red might be a Rimrock Knight. We do not hit a land. That's not good. How many overloads do we actually want here? We're going to have to play the hazard. Then we have to find a way to fill our graveyard in time for the beast to do its work. So I think we need this shock. Yeah, I think we need this shock. It is really unfortunate we didn't hit an untapped land there. Put this on the bottom, put this in exile. Play this sad, sad tapped land. Bad iteration, bad. Looks like the luck ran out, at least for a moment here. Here comes the beastie. Here comes the 1/1. We could iteration again. I think that our turn is occupied with killing this, so makes sense to me. We might hit a land this time. Okay, hit a couple. This goes to hand. This goes to bottom. This goes to exile. Play you. I mean, gosh, do we try to use a Test of Talents here? I think we can say go at least. See what our opponent tries to do. Moving to combat. Let's just take out your 1/1 then. You didn't play a second one, so hopefully this strands the beast in, unable to assault me, mourning the loss of its beloved. We still need to get one more spell into the graveyard. Yeah, there's the Rimrock Knight. That's what held priority earlier. And if the opponent says go here, they might have a giant. Oh, double Rimrock Knight. In a bad draw. All right. I guess we have to get back a shock. And then shock one of the knights. Yeah, I don't think there's a better way to do this. We can also hold it for a 1/1. Or if the knights get into combat, well, let's see what happens. If they make their land drop, okay, they're trying to go to combat. They can't Embercleave without another creature, so we shock this knight. And if they attack, we can kind of 2-for-1 a Bone Crusher Giant. I don't think they have another land or they would have played it. Yeah. Okay, cool. Now we can blitz and overload. Like this. Blitz your giant. Owie. Overload. Get back blitz. Or get back iteration. Ooh. I feel like we need all the removal we can get. We just need to draw any spell and this blitz kills the beast. I think we attack here because this still works against an Embercleave, but then they just block with the beast. So no, that would be a bad attack. Sometimes it's easy to forget this is out here for a few turns when it hasn't been able to attack you. We need to stop drawing land. That's what I'm most nervous about now. Interesting. The Songman Ruins coming down. The beast still can't rumble, but Sentinel can make mana with it, which it's a weird time to play the tap land when you just kind of got a mana creature. Good draw. Okay, doing it. What's the next play? Probably seize the Snarl. We can always cast the Blitz off the treasure. A lot of land. A lot of land. It's making me nervous. I almost want to... I guess we can always buy Zerda to discard if we draw a Cathartic Reunion. So do we blitz this and start attacking? Our opponent can crack back with Ember Cleave. They go to 11, then they die. Okay. Let's do it. Let's get aggressive. Their blocks aren't great. If they take 9 here and then take 9 the next turn, the Fury just ends the game. So they're chumping. Interesting. So what happens if they take 9 next turn? They're not dead to the Fury. Here comes the Cleave. Are we dead in 2 turns to the Knight? We're at 9? Okay. We can always Fury the Knight. Another land? Brutal. Down to 7. Buy the Zerda. We're going to Fury this thing. That's 3 and 3. So let's go ahead and cast the Zerda because the opponent's really close to dead. What's this say? Target creature can't block? Interesting. Remember, Rimrock can't block anyway, but now if they play something else, it can't block. All right, so we block. See if we can get our opponent to cast another Rimrock Knight or something. No, they're trying to pass to damage. All right, we'll do this now. Kill this with these, sacrificing you. Let's keep the one that stops things from blocking, just in case. I'll be really happy if we get away with this one. We drew a lot of land. A lot of land. We saw a lot of cards, and then we missed on playing something early with the iteration, and then we drew so much land. Dual strike. Doesn't do anything here. So if we double attack, the opponent has to block or they die. If we make them unable to block, they go to 2. So we just have to double attack here. There's no other way. Opponent can trade with the Zerda and go to 2. Look at Zerda showing up. And they said Zerda wasn't good. They said Zerda wasn't important. Look at the value having one little companion did in this game. Oh god. They don't have the mana to equip, so they have to block. They could have a smaller creature in hand and play it with the treasure, but no, it's my turn. Banzai. Shock off the top. The mightiest heroes can be dropped by the smallest of spells. We're trying to be in the top 200 with this Is It Spells pile. We're on the play against Luris. I have no idea. We don't have escape cards. We have really powerful experiments. And we can probably kill a lot of the rogue screechers. Let's see what happens. It might also be cycling. Cycling, we have a test of the talent, test of talent to try to find. All right, come at me. I'm ready to frostbite your face. Uh-huh. So, I think I plan to cast this next turn, so let's just frostbite the opponent's critter. We could also resolve Cathartic Reunion right now while we can, but I don't really want to discard these things. I like them. Go away. Never come back. Gotta deal with the early creatures. If you don't, the rogue's deck just kills you. Great. More of them. And more of them. All right, 7. Let's get rid of this before it can draw a card. It does mean that the opponent gets to hit us for 3. I'm not happy about it, but we get to foretell this dual strike. Which we need another red source to be able to use with a removal spell or an iteration. And our Cathartic Reunion is quickly becoming a bad card. Very quickly. Oh, alright. Let's go for this. Yuck. Hand. Bottom. Exile. I mean, it's better than not hitting a land drop, but not by much. We really needed a red. The opponent does not play another creature, though. And now I've taken 6 from my decision to kill this before it could draw a card. Starting to regret it. Starting to regret it. Not good. Let's buy the Zerda. Might as well. Got nothing else to do here. Upkeep shock. Would you like to counter it? Nice. So they didn't do anything with their mana the full turn cycle. It definitely tells me they have a counter spell. If they had an Into the Story, they would have played it. And they didn't buy Luris. Now they buy Luris. So yeah. Drown in the Lock. Fun. What a card. Prepare for the Battle of the Companions. Test of Talents is nice. That can get the Drown in the Lock, so that's the plan now. We could go for a Cathartic Reunion, but they might counter it, but we could counter their Drown. Then they play Luris, they get back a thing. We dual strike, we Blitz of the Raptor, we exile their Luris and their thing. Pretty good. Pretty good, to be honest. Let's go for it. They might let this resolve, but it's really tempting to take a 3-for-1 with a Drown in the Lock here. Wow. Okay. The discipline. And we are out of card draw. Engine has stalled, but the opponent's not doing anything either. Okay. Engine rebooted. We have enough islands, thank you very much, deck. All right, do we hold this land? We need a lot of lands to pull the combo, but we also need cards to discard to draw if we draw Seas. So I think we hold. Very tempting there. I probably should have dual struck this, since it's our last card draw spell. That's probably an oops. Well, that's how we know our opponent just drew a land. Or not. They pass priority. Let's kill it. If the opponent plays the Luris now and gets it back, the dual strike, the blitzes will solve the problem. Okay. Let's go. Do we have enough mana to do the thing? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 1, 2. With the treasure we do. We may as well play this. Dual strike. Okay, I'm guessing they have another Drown in the Lock, so rather than go for the Test of Talents... Well, wait, if I go for the Test of Talents, and then they counter this, I can still just cast the Overload. So let's try to get all their Drowns. Let's make the play. Plus we can get the test back with the Overload. Okay, Mystical Dispute. If I pay 3 here, I can't use the duel, so I'm just going to decline. The duel gets countered, so it's all a bit of a wash, but experimental Overload gets back what? Test of Talents? I think so. Now the opponent has to deal with the 15/15, which they probably can do. But if they're just gonna lure us, they're gonna get blitzed. And we could just draw Fury for the lethal. Uh-huh. Seize the spoils. Let's go blitz, exile that. Now we could try to put the opponent to 5, but I don't think it actually matters. I think we let the opponent... Oh my gosh, what? 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 They didn't block. They're just taking 15. Cool. Cool with me. That's got to be an oops, right? Rogues, you crazy. They know about the test. Let's go for the C's. Might draw a dual strike. We did. We did draw a dual strike. Let's go. All right, Thieves Guild Enforcer we can hit with a blitz. There it is. Zap. Well. I mean, that's a heck of a weird... Get out. Get out, rogues. Die this hideous death. Eliminate. All right. With mana up for a counter, like a mystical dispute. So we want to point 2 Test of Talents at it. So we go red, dual strike, and blue, Test of Talents. Copied to get around negate or mystical dispute here. Nice, I know. I am aware. Mystical dispute. Uh-huh. Yep. Wrecked. Wrecked 'em. Got him. Let me bask in some glory over here. Top 200 coming through. And we are back for the post-game wrap, and let's check the statistics powered by MTGA Assistant. It felt like it went well. Did it really go well? MTGA Assistant, a free download in the description. The link does support the channel, so consider checking it out. 8-1, 88% win rate in Mythic. On the play 6 times with a 100% win rate, on the draw 3 times. That probably had a good amount to do with the very nice stats, but it's still pretty sweet to see. What was the loss to? It was to a mono white, which I'd expect. Very hard to kill things like Selfless Savior with this deck, and there are no board wipes, so if they go wide fast enough on the play, I would expect a lot of trouble there. But very impressive deck, outperformed my expectations by a lot, and brought it, quite frankly, brought it when it comes to this kind of thing, because it looked mostly memey, and instead it was very explosive. It was also very clear my opponents weren't quite sure what was going on. In fact, I wasn't quite sure what was going on, as I had to warm up playing with the deck myself, and as I said in the intro, using the dual strikes a bit more liberally, but it's strong. You could run more negates or more Test of Talents if you're really concerned about countering spells. Protecting combos, protecting your weird, protecting your graveyard is probably the biggest fear. If people figure out how the deck works and they start exiling your graveyard, they hit you with a Soul Guide Lantern or an Elspeth's Nightmare, I bet it's a lot harder to win. And Tested Talents doesn't really help against Elspeth's Nightmare, so maybe you do need something like Negate along those lines. I found it worked really well just having the 1 to dig to, but not having 2 reactive of a hand that did nothing too often. Having the shocks in the deck definitely helped against most of the aggro decks, and it also helps to just be able to head upstairs and make the final Kazul's Fury more manageable. So I like having shock in the deck, but I totally understand if you want to adjust it there, and those are the things I would try first and foremost. Make sure you follow Kanye Best on Twitter. Thank him for the sweet list. Make sure that you what was the other thing I was gonna say? The MTGA Assistant plug? Nope, did that. The Cool Kids membership plug? Nope, did that. Oh yeah, Twitch Prime. It's the middle of the month. I've forgotten so far to remind you to renew Twitch Prime. But if you are one of the hundreds of people who support the channel with Twitch Prime. Please check that out. If you want to know what I'm talking about, if you have Amazon Prime, you have the ability to subscribe to me on Twitch, which is a paid feature, for free. Amazon Prime gives every household one of those to use per month, but you have to renew it yourself. If you want a sweet video on it, search for Dusty Porter, one of my subs, or check the link in the description. He has a video detailing how Twitch Prime works. Thank you for watching this video. As always, I'll see you in the next video. Don't let your memes be dreams. And as always, you're cool.